What's up, guys? It's Steven from Cymatics here, and welcome to episode 9 of the Ask Cymatics Show. I'm very excited about this. I kind of took it on my own accord to kind of start this show up. Drew's been pretty excited. We actually ordered a couple things to upgrade the podcast room, including more microphones here. So I'm excited about that. We have a sweet metal like Cymatics banner we're going to be putting up right there. Just doing little improvements on the room because we do have guests that are already scheduled. We have some really big guests coming in. Drew's going to hop in here and join the show. So you guys are going to see this thing evolve, and I'm actually kind of excited because people are going to be watching the early days of the Ask Cymatics Show and be like, oh, I remember when it was just Steven sitting there doing it. Now there's guests, and it's going to evolve into an entire, more like Joe Rogan, H3H3 style podcast where it's a lot more discussion-based things before we go into the questionnaire. And then, I want to really pick apart people who are really successful. There's nothing more exciting to me than finding somebody, some artist or anybody who's really successful, and then just breaking down the different stuff that they know and trying to bring that to our community, because honestly, you can learn something from everybody. Even people who aren't as successful, you can learn what not to do in a lot of cases. So I'm excited about that. What else? Any big news? Oh, 2 big things. One, Game of Thrones episode 1 aired, and that shit was fire. Definitely really excited to see what the season holds. I've seen a lot of Game of Thrones. It's funny, the second Game of Thrones episodes, the memes just start exploding all over social media. It's kind of funny to see that. Also, just big shout out to Tiger Woods for winning a Masters, I think at the age 43. Not sure his exact age, but the fact that the dude was, pretty much at an ultimate low with the media. He was kind of coming off a back injury and a surgery, couldn't make it, and the dude was still training because he wants to take down Jack Nicklaus's record and all this stuff. And even if you're not a golf fan, you definitely can appreciate the hustle because to come back 10 years after the game, come out of nowhere and then go straight to that #1 spot is fucking crazy. It's like some artist who has retired for 10, 15 years, comes back out of nowhere, hits #1 Billboard. You know what I'm saying? It's really wild. I think that's it for all the announcements. Right here, I actually don't have a coffee cup today. My house is an absolute wreck. Sometimes I get in these work modes where, a lot of times, guys, by the way, I ignore normal life things. People don't know this, but I just will ignore things like cleaning or ignore things I need to do, go get my car checked on, all this kind of stuff. And for the reason being is I try to clear as much space as possible to focus on growth for Cymatics. And I literally don't have coffee cups anymore, so I put my coffee in a bowl. So I'm going to be sipping on the bowl this whole episode, but let's get right into it.
DJ Leonard asks, building a new channel, do you use Google AdWords for your videos or purely organic growth?
All right, so when it comes to building a new channel, I don't care if it's YouTube, Instagram, a Facebook group, or anything like that, you always want to start with organic. And the reason being is that there's so many great tactics that you have to know with organic. I really think that you should go through that struggle and figure that stuff out. Not saying that paid stuff, like you're talking about Google AdWords, not saying Google AdWords doesn't work or Facebook ads doesn't work or Instagram ads don't work, because I use all of those things and they're extremely powerful. But all the marketers and all the people and brands who are trying to grow based purely off ads really suck at marketing. They think they can just pay to win. And when they bump into somebody like me who can do all the organic strategies, who can really do all the hand-to-hand combat, all the guerrilla marketing style, and because I grew, literally me and Drew grew Cymatics with less than $200, so we were forced to do that, and we can play that ad game, that's when you become a really dangerous person in terms of growing a channel. But what I was going to say is that starting off organic for the first few years even is really powerful play. And I'm going to suggest that. So especially when it comes to YouTube. Did he say he was trying to grow YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when it comes to YouTube specifically, I would highly suggest focusing on a couple things. One, consistency. There's a reason I'm putting out an episode of Ask Cymatics every single day. I would focus on, your thumbnails being really incredible, because YouTube thumbnails, along with video titles, is one of the most important things. Go check out a guy named Mr. Beast. He actually talks a lot about this stuff. The dude has crazy growth. And that consistency essentially really helps the algorithm, because the more people watch your videos, the more you show up in their homepage feed. And the second they start watching somebody else, that whole homepage feed kind of gets flip-flopped. And the more videos you have out there, a lot of things that producers don't really know or really talk about is the search engine algorithm, right? You want to show up first. Let's say if you're doing production, when somebody searches an Ableton tutorial, I'm on the first page, and I have a video with over 800,000 plays on an Ableton tutorial. And the reason is because we optimized a video to rank for that. When you search in certain things into into YouTube, we try and rank #1. So when you put out a lot of videos, what happens is you naturally start to rank. You naturally start to, rank for different keywords. You naturally start to become, you start to get in the related a lot more. That little side column for related videos. And when you start to do all this stuff, you actually grow really well. And then you'll also learn some of the hacking stuff, right? Commenting on other people's videos, like good genuine comments. Rita talked about how that played a role. You'll learn how to market on other platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram to drive traffic back to your YouTube channel. I'm doing that with the Cymatics Show right now. You probably can't see on the camera, but I'm live streaming to both our Instagram accounts. A lot of times I'll even do the Cymatics Facebook group as well. So you kind of use all of this stuff, get really good at the organic side, and then down the road, then start to play into the whole ad side. But I would even wait till you have a product, because a lot of times you have to get like perfect return on investments and all this shit. To focus on organic, you're going to be a lot better off.
Fritz asks, I'm 14 years old and my parents hate it when I work on my computer for hours just making music. Do you know anything I can tell them to make them understand the art of music production?
Honestly, man, it's a tough scenario, right? Like from a parent's, I would first think from your parents' perspective. If they're kind of unhappy with you, you're spending a lot of hours on your computer, they think you're wasting time, because like even look at something like video games or anything, they don't see any productivity or vision out of that. And even if you tell them like, hey, I want to become this music producer, they still might not actually see it, right? My parents didn't necessarily see it at first either. Like I had a little bit more freedom, but they didn't necessarily see that being a music producer could pan out to something like Cymatics. Or whatever it is that you want to do per se. So one thing I'm going to suggest is when it comes to your family, like probably build a closer relationship with and help them understand what it is you're trying to do. Like if I were to tell you right now, for example, I were to explain something like, how to set up a Facebook ad funnel and use tripwires and thank you pages to correctly optimize something to grow an account, and like, your head might be like, okay, that's a bit over my head. If Elon Musk were to sit here and talk to me about something like digging tunnels under LA to get rid of congestion and traffic, it would probably go over my head as well. So think about from your parents' perspective. They're not listening to the same artists as you. They're not following their Instagrams. They're not watching YouTube, mini documentaries on day in the life of an artist and getting inspired. They're not seeing those giant shows that you may have seen on YouTube or been to yourself, right? They don't see any of that stuff. So they don't have a lot of information to go off of. All they're seeing is you sitting at your computer, and they think of like what it was to be a music producer like back in the 90s or something, right? Like when they may have been growing up, or let's say maybe 80s, right? And with that being said, a lot of it comes from a lack of information. The second you start to communicate more with your parents about the different directions you can go, you can even look up different jobs in the music industry. Like it's an education thing. You have to keep telling them, show them some cool videos, show them what people are doing, show them what you're going to go for, show them some other jobs in the industry that are a little more stable than being a big artist. Say, hey, I would love to do this, but even if I can't do that, I can go be a sound designer. I can go be a mixing engineer. I can go be a ghost producer. I can go, develop little bits for YouTube shows and create custom music for them and make money. And do a little bit of all those things. And then the more they start to understand and learn about it, the more they'll become an advocate. And I think a lot of this, parents not understanding that, is just from a lack of information. They're only probably just hearing your sub bass hitting from the other room. You see what I'm saying? So it's really understandable. Think from their perspective. Try to build that relationship where you kind of show them stuff and slowly drip it in. Don't come off all strong and stuff. Like parents, like just slowly being like, hey, check out what this person's doing. Check out what this person's doing. Watch this video. This guy's talking about the music industry. And then the more they'll learn, they'll start to think like you. But you guys are just coming from different backgrounds right now. So educate your parents more, make them understand a little bit more about the different things you can do about the music industry, and I guarantee they'll come around. You gotta just go for it, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's your life, like play by the rules that your parents like set the foundation for, and sometimes you gotta go off on your own path and really just make it happen. I wouldn't let this hold you back. And I wanna give that parallel because as I said that, I guarantee they'll come around like, okay, my parents came around, but I'm sure there's some parents out there who don't come around until they actually see some tangible results. And if that's the case, like, fuck it, you got to get those tangible results.
Chino wants to know, should I buy paid tutorials and are they worth it?
I'm going to say that when it comes to investing money into your career, it's never a bad thing, even if you waste your money. And, for me, when it comes to like paid tutorials, I would suggest you buy paid tutorials just to see if it works. Sometimes just learning one little trick in a video could be the thing that makes that even $1,000 course completely worth it. Like the people that, you should go to networking events. You should go to a music conference. You should invest into, trying to go buying programs and stuff. You should constantly try to reinvest in yourself, because when you do, a few things happen. One, it only takes a couple pieces of knowledge. So let's say in this case, when you're talking about courses, it only takes 1 or 2 pieces of knowledge to make the entire course worth it. Like think about it. If you're a producer and you learn one trick that makes every single song you ever make like sound way better, right? Let's say it's a certain trick on your on the mix that helps make it sound better. Isn't that worth $300, $500 if you get to use that for the rest of your life? Isn't it worth it just learning a little bit more knowledge in Serum to then in the future be able to do a lot more sound design stuff, which can open entirely new doors for your career? That little video you bought, that little course you bought on Serum or something on sound design might lead to you discovering a whole new sound, which might lead to you getting discovered. And a lot of this goes for even knowledge. You know, are you taking like any online courses for the music business side of things? It only takes one little tip on how to run your social media for you to go to that next level. And I'm a huge fan of investing in yourself. I do it all the time. I bought a course the other day by a guy named Jesse Itzler. It's kind of like a personal development course. I've bought in courses from Digital Marketer. I've bought in courses. Recently, me and Drew signed up for Masterclass, a yearly thing, just because there was so many cool things in here. I wanted to watch everything from Steph Curry to Deadmau5 in the studio. Like, I don't have to learn a ton. Even just one little gem makes any sort of investment worth it. And the people, even if your investments don't pay out every single time, all you need to do is hit that grand slam every once in a while, and it'll pay for all your other investments into your own career. So I would say always invest in your career, always invest in yourself, and don't be afraid to lose money with those investments, because in the long run, you will win if you do that.
Finn asks, what are ways a young producer can balance out school and producer life?
So to balance your school life and your production life, the first thing you have to do is you got to map out your North Star. Are you doing production for fun? If that's the case, I would probably focus more on school and just do whatever you're trying to do with that. If you're trying to be a doctor, I would definitely be like, oh, how about you take it a little easy on production? You probably got to get straight A's, you get in med school and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to be a lawyer, hey, you probably should take it easy. If you're trying to be a producer, and let's say you have to go to school because of your parents and stuff, and there's no way out of it, and you can't, talk them into taking some time off, what I would do is the way I would, take a balance is I would try to do the least amount possible to get by. Like college and getting a job and having good grades, it really does not matter. As long as you have a degree, like that's all they care about on the piece of paper. I don't even care about degrees. Like Jordan is right behind here. We do hiring all the time. I don't care about a degree at all. Like it does not even faze us. But I would do the bare amount possible, okay? Like getting a C in all your classes and just passing and getting your degree, but then you get an extra 20 hours a week because you're not studying, you're studying music production and going in, to me is way more valuable if that maps out to your North Star. That's why I said it all maps out to the end goal. What exactly are you trying to do? I'm not gonna give this advice to somebody who wants to be a nurse. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to give this advice to somebody who wants to be a doctor or a lawyer, because you have to go to school to go through those things. But if you're trying to be a music producer, your actions of spending an extra 20 hours, 30 hours a week just to get an A in that class doesn't make any sense. Plus, let's be honest, if you're in college right now, you're probably just using Quizlet to answer all your questions anyway. I would take online classes. That's probably what I do. I would take online classes because half the time you can just look up stuff on Quizlet. Half the time now in college, all the tests and quizzes are open book. Like, just make it easier for yourself. I would go to Rate My Professor and literally get the easiest teachers and just get by, because my focus would be around music production.
Austin asks, how do you get viewer engagement and likes on your videos and songs on social media channels?
So when it comes to getting more engagement on your posts on social media, as well as more views and likes and stuff like that, it's all about studying what's already working. Don't reinvent the wheel. There's thousands of posts nonstop that me and Drew send to each other. We save, we get ideas. And if you study the stuff that's already working and recreate those things, the thing is that it's going to work to a certain extent. So for example, if you have a page and you post a meme and that meme gets 10,000 likes on another page, so you post it and you'll probably get a great result as well. Maybe not 10,000, maybe it's relevant to your follower count, but it'll probably do just as decent. Same thing goes with if you post a certain type of like production video and it's done in a certain way, and one video got 100,000 and let's say they had 100,000 followers, then you might only have 10,000 followers. You post, you get 10,000 views. My point is that if you want to get more engagement and you want to get better social media posts, the thing you need to do is you need to create something called a swipe file where you screenshot at least 100 very, very high quality posts. And not high quality like what artists think, like based on like, does a picture look good? Like, fuck if it looks good. I'm talking about look at the likes. look at the comments, read the comments, and look at the shares. If those three things and the views, those things are the indicators on if a post is doing well and people care about it or not, right? And if you start to study what people respond to the best, not like what you subjectively think is awesome, because subjectively, producers like to want to make an Instagram layout where every little picture makes a big picture when you go to the page. That's the worst fucking marketing plan ever, okay? Look at what's working on social media. Look what's killing it. Look what's getting the most engagement. Look what's killing on Discover feed. Make a swipe file of 100 posts that are very successful. Use those as a stepping stone for ideas and frameworks for your own post. And once you start to do a lot more, once you start to model your post off other people's posts that are already successful, you'll start to create more original stuff down the road as you start to learn the underlying concepts of what makes posts good or bad. Somebody in the live stream says how to make blank in 3 minutes kind of video. That's exactly what I'm fucking talking about. Like, that is a formula that me and Drew are hammering because it's working. Okay, why not try that formula? Like, that's a great one to try. How to recreate lo-fi, how to make a lo-fi track in 3 minutes, how to make a house track in 3 minutes. Like, stuff like that is really good. It works good on social media because people's attention spans aren't looking to listen to a 5-minute song with an epic build-up. They're like sitting on the toilet just scrolling, okay? And you need to cater to that toilet dude. I'll take one question here. Go ahead and ask a question, guys, and then I'm just going to pick a random question. And by the way, whoever I answer the question who writes a good one, I'm going to look at a bunch, but whoever writes the best question as well that I'm going to answer, so just do it quickly, is also going to get that $100 gift card. If your fan base is built on Spotify, how do you handle marketing, promotion, music, new audiences? How to make content? What type of content can you make? I'm looking at both feeds here. You want to come over here and help me look at these feeds? See if you see something good?
Yeah.
How would you feel if someone took your packs and made a beat with it and then choreographed it all at once? What about how to become a sound designer? Okay, what's the most important when writing a song? How do you set up speakers for growing? I don't know, what do you better sell beats or do collabs? I like this guy. Boom. All right, guys, I found the winner. It's over here. I'm going to screenshot it. I found the winner. And it is Aramas Sound, is what I'm going to say. You are the winner of the $100 gift card. And here was the golden question. He said, for a growing producer, would it be better to sell beats or do collabs? Okay, so first off, as a growing producer, one of the best things you need to do is do everything. Literally everything you possibly can. So put out, try to sell beats, try to do collabs, try to put out original content, try to do an interview with other producers, try to network, try to put out your own songs, Spotify, SoundCloud, do a lot. And one of the best things that you can do is that you can essentially, the stuff that doesn't work that great, cut it out. The stuff that works great, double down. Okay, cut and double down. So we do it all the time with Cymatics. We'll throw out, you guys will see us do tons of different strategies. The stuff that's not working, we simply stop doing it. The stuff that works well, we double down and we invest more into. And then when you start doing that, you start to get exponential growth because you start to find the growth levers that are working. You double down on it. So my suggestion would be try it all, look for indicators of success. And the thing that works really, really well with this strategy is actually speed. The speed of implementation is one of the most important things. So the faster that you can try a lot of these strategies, even if it's more half-assed, the speed is more important because better than making a high quality decision is a fast decision, because the fast decision will give you feedback from the community, the audience, and the market, whether you're doing something right or wrong. That feedback plays an important role into doing your next thing, and then your next thing becomes higher quality based on proper feedback, not taking longer to make a decision. So the speed of implementation on what you do with your music project and career plays a big role. Speed, okay? It's one of the most important things that a lot of people don't value because everybody values quality, but they don't value using speed to get to quality. That's one thing we believe really hardcore in Cymatics, and that's why we do so much. All right, guys. So thanks for asking that question. I appreciate everybody who popped in this. And if you guys want to get your questions answered, make sure you're subscribed to the Ask Cymatics YouTube channel. And we're actually going to be giving away, can you hand me those? The Technicas? We're actually going to be giving away a pair of Audio-Technicas. I've said it almost every episode. You got to be subscribed. And if you have a question about selling beats this time, because I know Kato's hopping in. Actually, this might be too late because this episode's going out past. He's coming here tomorrow. Fuck it. If you got a question for Ask Cymatics, drop it in the comments below on YouTube. And if you're not subscribed yet, go subscribe to that channel. And if you have a video question, which almost gets you a guaranteed feature in the show, send it to ask@cymatics.fm. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. And one last announcement, if you guys want to meet up with myself or anybody else from the Cymatics team, including Drew, we are doing a meetup in Atlanta. If you are from Atlanta, if you're from the Southeast, I highly suggest you come. It's happening on April 24th at a brewery. It's a little networking event. They only have, I think the venue holds 200 people. We're selling 175 tickets. Is that right? Just in case there, so we don't overpack it out. Tickets are selling super fast, so I wanted to make this quick announcement about that. And next week, starting Thursday, whenever this episode goes out, probably the day this episode goes out, we're starting Lo-Fi Week. So if you guys are into Lo-Fi, we actually have a bunch of free stuff coming out. We have a premium bundle that's going to be sick. And Drew's very, very, very anticipated project, Life, is going to be dropping. So be sure to go check that out. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the episode and can't wait to hear your questions. Peace.